Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Tomorrow's a big day for all of us. I think all of us, whether you're on compound, whether you're on branded Mounjaro, tomorrow is a big day because, as most of us know, that is when the FDA is going to come and speak publicly again and give an update on the shortage issue after the lawsuit that was filed. So tomorrow we should know a lot more about the future of compounded Tirzepatide. And so today, ahead of that, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a sort of recap on everything that we know so far. So I have written down a bunch of stuff. You guys know me. This notebook is getting pretty full here of all my notes and stuff that I make for videos for y'all, but we're gonna do a recap because I think that going into the new update with all of the information will be helpful for us all to sort of like wrap our heads around whatever the situation ends up being. So on Thursday, again, the FDA will announce the future of compounded Tirzepatide, whether or not they are officially removing the drug from the shortage list or not. This all started in early October. So I believe it was October 2nd, pretty sure that was the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as of October 2nd, the FDA removed Tirzepatide pretty quickly, out of the blue. One night it was there, the next morning it was gone. They removed Tirzepatide from the drug shortage list. This freaked out everybody because there are tens of thousands, I would argue hundreds of thousands of people in America who are utilizing compounded Tirzepatide as a way to access GLP-1 medications that are just way too expensive branded. Branded Tirzepatide in the form of Mounjaro or Zepbound is well over $1,000. I believe if you have the coupon, you can get it for $650 a month, but most compounded versions run $300 to $400 a month. So having the option to get them a few $100s cheaper every single month was astronomical for a lot of Americans. And so when that announcement was made, when Tirzepatide was removed, a lot of people freaked out. A lot of people started to panic buy multiple vials. They were signing up for multiple different telehealth companies and purchasing from all of them. And it just, for a couple of days, was a huge shit show, for lack of a better term. People were fear-mongering. It was just a big, big mess. So shortly after that, the 7th of October, the OFA, which is the Outsourcing Facilities Association, filed a lawsuit in Texas against the FDA. Now, the OFA is actually a organization that represents 503B compounding pharmacies. And essentially what they alleged in this lawsuit was that the FDA went based off of what Eli Lilly, who is the manufacturer of Mounjaro and Zepbound, what they said happened. So Eli Lilly is saying that we have no shortage any longer, and the FDA believed them. Now, there are a lot of people who think that money's probably involved, right? To think that these large pharmaceutical companies are not in the back pockets of a lot of the government is probably really naive. And so there are a lot of people that thought that money talked, and Eli Lilly sort of wanted it removed from the FDA list because they realized how much money they were losing out on from compounding pharmacies and how much competition they were receiving from them. And so the FDA did what they were asked to do by Eli Lilly. So the OFA files this lawsuit essentially alleging that the FDA did not do a proper investigation or follow the proper channels to determine if the drug shortage was really over. So the proper channels that they're supposed to follow is they're supposed to look into different geographical areas, see if backlogs of the medication are able to be filled in a vast majority of the United States. And not only that they are able to keep up with back orders, but that they're also able to keep up with new orders. And a lot of people thought that after Eli Lilly released the vials of Zepbound, which were the lower doses, the 2.5 and the 5 milligram dosages, that would free up a lot more of the pen structure, because that is what the shortage is mostly surrounding, is the pen device. And so the shortage would get better when the vials were released. But just speaking to a lot of you and what I see a lot of online, a lot of people still are not able to source their medication. So the OFA alleged that the FDA listened to Eli Lilly, said, okay, we'll do what you want, removed it from the list, and didn't really follow through with the process for the American people as it was designed to be followed through with. So they filed this lawsuit on October 6th, on October 7th in Fort Worth, Texas. And they actually asked that the court vacate the FDA's decision. So that the judge basically says, I'm going against what you say, and we're putting it back on the drug shortage list. That is not what happened. What did happen though was that the FDA came back. They had until the end of that week, I think it was until like Friday evening of that week, to respond. And what they ended up coming back and saying was that they are going to take, at that point, it was the next 6 weeks. It was from October 7th to November 21st to review the drug shortage details, really go through the process, essentially, in my opinion, admitting that they didn't do it right the first time, because if you did it right the first time, then you should be able to prove that, and then you wouldn't have had to do it now, right? So essentially what the FDA is saying is, yeah, we did mess up. Maybe we don't have the data to back it up. Maybe we should get that data, or not if it's not there, right? So they essentially came out and said, we're going to do the proper channels. We're going to investigate this further. Compounding pharmacies can continue to legally make Tirzepatide from now until November 21st when we make this next decision. So that leads us up to now, right? So now it is as November 20th, as you guys are watching this, and this is the day before the FDA is to come out with a new decision. Now, when the first removal of back in October 2nd, when that came out, there were a lot of telehealth companies that actually stopped providing Tirzepatide for a while. And then some of them came back and said, we will provide Tirzepatide until this date, but only for established patients. There was a lot of ones that just stopped completely and just kind of folded, laid their hand down and said, okay, we're done. And then there are some that are not going to lay down and take it. The one that I use, Orderly, is one of those. You can check, I have a link in the description if you want to learn more about them. But yeah, they have been working really hard to ensure access for everybody. And I've just been so happy with them. But a lot of, like Join Friday, for one, is one that only will sell now to established patients. And I think it's through like December 2nd is how long they will do it for. And so what I want everybody to remember, no matter what happens on Friday, I think that there are companies and the pharmacies out there that are going to fight for us. There's a lot of talk of altering dosages or adding things like B12 or niacinamide to the formulation so that it is different than the branded, so that it's legal. There's a lot of talk and a lot of things that are happening. And also, even if you take Tirzepatide, compound Tirzepatide, off the market, hopefully a lot of us kind of bought a couple vials. I purchased 5 through Orderly, so I will have access for a while because I didn't want to lose access. So I did use their multi-vial option and got 5 of them. And I know there's a lot of other people who did that as well, either through Orderly or through a different telehealth company. So hopefully we planned a little bit, and that's all you can do. This is not really in our control. And so planning ahead was smart, and kind of hoping to ride out whatever happens with having a little bit of a stash is probably smart or beneficial. But also we got to remember that there are several new GLP-1s coming down the pipeline that within hopefully the next year or so, this will all be a distant memory, and we will have access to several other options that are able to make it so Eli Lilly does not have this like absurd monopoly over the product and the ability to take away from all of us what we need. I think that when that happens, when that shift happens, I think that we're going to see a big shift of people that shy away from Eli Lilly because of the greed and the dirtiness that they have perpetuated over the course of the past year. The past 6 months have really been bad. I think once they realized that they were losing so much money to compounding pharmacies, they wanted it back. And I've said before, I'll say again, I don't think that they don't deserve some of what they are getting because they discovered it, but there needs to be, I know, it's a whole government thing. There needs to be some way to monitor all of it, right? So that we aren't getting price gouged and they're still making money. There's got to be some type of middle ground, you would think. So anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of a recap on the current status of Compound before the news comes out tomorrow. I'm praying for good news, but if that doesn't happen, if they come out and they say, okay, here's the paperwork, we have the data, you know, we're taking it off the shortage list, just know that it'll be okay. It'll work out the way that it's supposed to work out. And karma's a thing, man. Karma is a thing that I 100% believe in, and it'll work out. That's all we can do. Let's take a deep breath. Let's go meditate for 5-10 minutes by ourselves in a corner and tell ourselves and manifest that it'll be all right. Because if we speak that out into the world, maybe it'll happen. So I will come back on Friday and I will kind of update on what happens. I don't want to do it Thursday. I know that there are others that will, but I don't want to do it Thursday because I want to, I've again said this before, but I like to let dust settle just a tad so that I'm not jumping the gun and putting out information that might be different or might not be accurate, or somebody's reporting something and then it changes and they correct themselves and, oh, that was not right, let me correct it. You know what I mean? I like to give the dust a little time to settle before I report on it. So I will come back on Friday with an update of what the FDA did say. Cross your fingers for good news, but know that if it's not good news, that we will find a way. I fully believe that some of these telehealth companies and most of these compounding pharmacies are not just gonna lay down and take it, and that they will fight for us. So not only just fight for us, fight for themselves, because they're making a lot of money now off of this. And this is a big part of their income as a business. And so I just think that we gotta remember how much money is involved here for telehealth companies and for compounding pharmacies, and that it's not likely that they're just gonna be like, meh, okay, you're right, we're done, we'll stop, we'll listen, right? I think that they will find a legal way to do what they need to do. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it gave you some clarity on sort of the current situation and some hope for what comes tomorrow. I will see you guys on Friday. Take a deep breath, go for a walk. It'll be okay. Have a great day, guys.